Now we're ready. Good morning, Knights. All right, thank you for being an awesome audience, coming in, following the behavior expectations. Thank you very much. Do me a favor, reach back, pat yourself on the back. Good job this morning. Today we have a treat. We have one of the co-authors of this book that you have in your classroom, Journey for Justice. Her name is Gail Romasanta, and I'm going to let Miss V. Gonzalez talk about her for a little bit. How about a hand for Miss Gail Romasanta? And I'm going to introduce Miss V. Gonzalez right now. Thank you very much. We are honored. It's a pleasure to have you here. In the short time I got to know her, I just realized that I went to school a few miles from where she lives, and my dad used to drive back and forth to the town she grew up in Stockton. I'm going to let her talk about that stuff. So that's awesome. So it's very nice. Nice meeting you. Thank you for being here. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Miss V. Gonzalez. She was instrumental in setting all this stuff up here for Princeton. So how about a hand for Miss Arlene V. Gonzalez?
Thank you, boys and girls, for being so well behaved. Yes, this is a very exciting time for Delano, since we're starting the Journey for Justice, the Life of Larry Itliong National Book Tour. And the first city, if you look at the poster, is Delano, California. So let's give Delano a round of applause. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to talk a little bit about Gail Romasanta. Gail Romasanta received her Bachelor of Arts, that's her degree, college degree, in creative writing from San Francisco State University, and received a scholarship to attend the Master of Fine Arts Writing program at California College of the Arts. Since then, her work as a writer and editor has been published in newspapers, magazines, books, online, and featured on radio and television programs on KQED, KPFA, ABS-CBN, WB, NBC, and Fox News affiliates. Gail's work in theater, film, and music has been featured in events and venues such as the Houston Asian American Music Festival, San Francisco Asian American Jazz Festival, and the Cultural Center of the Philippines. She is a former artistic director of Bindlestiff Studio, the only Filipino-American theater in the United States. She also co-founded California College of the Arts Literary Arts Journal, 1111, and her first children's book, Beautiful Eyes. It is a part of the curriculum for the San Francisco Unified School District. She also co-composed the music for the first Google Philippines campaign commercial in 2014. Currently, she is the founder and owner of Bridge and Delta Publishing, producing the first ever series of its kind, 8 books on Filipino-American history for 4th through 9th grade students, their teachers, and families. The first book, Journey for Justice, The Life of Larry Itliong, co-written with the late and great Dr. Don Mabalon, was launched on October 27, 2018. I'd like to introduce Gail Romasanta, and she'll take it from here. Let's give her a round of applause.
Oh man, hi, good morning everybody. Good morning. All right, Mrs. Roma Santa. It's Roma like the Roma tomato and Santa like Santa Claus. I tell everybody this. So I am Tomato Claus. But I am so honored to be here today that I want to cry, to tell you the truth. My work, everything that you heard about what I've done really started when I was a child. And so this makes me cry because I've come back full circle. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Before I was writing, I was born in Manila, Philippines. and I moved to Stockton, California. So that's about 3.5 hours, 4 hours away from here, and it's a farming community. I was raised by Manongs with my parents, and they were all farm workers. So on my mother's side, they were all farm workers, and on my father's side, they were all still in the Philippines. So our families were missing each other so much, and we were separated. So the only people that we really had to bond with were their older Manongs, single Manongs, that you will read about in Journey for Justice, the life of Larry Itliong, who were my uncles at that time. And growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. I had free lunch tickets, and I remember that I would be mortified because the teacher had this yellow envelope and would read every kid's names who had free lunch tickets and tell them to pick them up. And so every school year in elementary, I would have to go and I'd put my head down and I would get my free lunch tickets, and people would say things to me. And you know, I told myself, and my parents always told me, you've got to be strong. You've got to be stronger. You need to get an education. And so I did. And my first love before writing, well, writing was part of it, but was in the 4th grade, I picked up the violin. My parents had told me we didn't have enough money. We couldn't rent a violin. And my sisters had told me, gosh, Gail, you're so selfish. Why are you asking Mom and Dad to rent you a violin? Do you know we have bills to pay? And I felt really bad about that. But lo and behold, on my birthday, I unwrapped a rented violin. And it was the best thing in the whole wide world. And in the 6th grade, my dad bought me my own. And I'm crying just because when you're your age, you never really know who you can be and what you can do. So today, as I'm telling my story, I want all of you to promise yourself that you too will tell your own story. When maybe you're my age, or maybe even when you're younger than me. And I won't tell you how old I am. You're probably thinking, old lady, or older person, right? I have 4 kids, and they always think that I'm the old lady in the house. So when you hear what I'm telling you, and when we're talking about Larry today, I want you to know that you need no permission. You don't need any permission to tell people who you are, where you came from, and your own family history. And I think that is exactly Dr. Dawn Mabalan behind me would have wanted. She would have been here today, but she unfortunately passed in August while she was on vacation. Excuse me. And so in any case, after learning the violin, and I played violin in public school for many years, and I was on school newspaper, I started writing, and I went to college with that, and I continued to play violin, and it was with me, and I decided to be an artist. And I know in my family, no one knew what to do with me, because no one knew what artists did. Artists don't get paid for what they do, or writers. Who does that? So I went and I did that, and wrote for a very long time, and met a fellow Stocktonian behind me, Dr. Dawn Mabalan, when we were in college still. And a little bit about Dr. Dawn Mabalan, she was like me too. She grew up in Stockton, and her father was a farm worker. She went to community college first. Her family did not have enough money. So she went to community college first, and it's cheaper. So if you go to community college, it's a little bit cheaper and it's easier for her family. And that was first and foremost on her mind. But after she went to community college, she went to UCLA. So that's University of California, Los Angeles. And after she went to UCLA, she went to Stanford. So an amazing school. How many of you guys have heard about Stanford? Stanford University, yes. So it's this big, beautiful think tank, one of the oldest and one of the most respected universities in the country. But to think that somebody who had farm worker parents would go on through college, would go to community college and go to college and go to Stanford, and she is what we think one of the first Pinay to get a doctorate in history from Stanford. And so she is an amazing woman, and it is her research that you will find in the book, in Journey for Justice. As you read it, know that she had to find Larry's story. And Larry's story is deeply rooted in Stockton and up and down the West Coast, as you can read. And it's also rooted in here, Delano. So when we talk about Larry Itliong, you have to talk about Delano. And so we're so proud about Delano because we know that this is the birth, really, of Filipinos finding their voice and wanting to fight for their rights as farm workers and asking to get paid, to have safety at the workplace, and they demanded their dignity out there in the farms. And we can hear more from Dr. Dawn Mabalon. She's so eloquent. If she was here today, she would be the one talking. I'm usually the one kind of in the background. And she was such an eloquent speaker, and she knew what she was talking about. She had been researching Larry Itliong for over 20 years. How many of you guys know about Larry Itliong? I've heard about him. Some of you, right? Okay, good. Have you guys gotten a chance to read the book yet in class? Some of you, not yet? Okay, and I'm sure some of I'm sure you guys will in the future, and we definitely can talk, and you can ask questions today about that, about Larry Itliong and about the farm workers movement. So, in a nutshell, everybody, I just want to let you guys know that I'm here today. I'm able to tell this story because I just had to push through so much and get to the other side as a young child to an adult and really know that this is what I wanted to do. So again, I hope you all take this with you. If you don't listen or don't take anything else away from this, I hope you know that you matter and your voice matters and your writing matters and your math matters and your art matters. And so I want you guys to always remember that. And how many of you do you have music here? All of you have music? Yes? And how many of you guys want to be musicians? Oh, I see some hands. Oh, right on. Okay, we've got a school full of musicians. How many of you have ever thought about being a writer? Okay. Nice. Okay, if you guys want to talk after, and all you musicians. Well, I love it. Well, I'm so happy that I can tell my own story here about being a writer and a musician. And I will give it to Dawn. Dawn has a lot to say.